How you doing?
Happy birthday, nephew.
That's simple. A lot of like to spend their money. We love to spend our money. We can't take none of this. None. Ain't no armored trucks pulling up at no funerals. Simple. So you better enjoy this. A fool and his money will part.
Yeah. So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film.
The rap world is shaking again. What started as a few quiet whispers online just exploded into a full-blown war, a $120 million scandal that could tear down reputations, test loyalty, and expose what clout really costs.
It would lead to February 13th, the Big Meech home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rose. Now, this the first time it's ever been done. Me performing BMF with the icon himself. This gonna be special.
Epic.
Get your tickets right now.
I'm back.
A quick Google search for you says that your net worth is $20 million.
I know I got more money than that. I might go 70 days without looking at my exact total amount of my money because it give me anxiety keep looking at numbers all day. It's like when you put money in stocks, the stock trader told me, say, put a lot of money in stock, don't keep looking at that. It'll drive you crazy.
Rick Ross, the man who once called himself the biggest boss, now stands accused of scamming one of the most legendary street figures of all time, Big Meech of the BMF empire.
Right now, my shoulder broke, but we still getting to the money. We still count paper. This ain't a pump and dump, baby.
Think about it. It was all part of the plan. 50 Cent and Rick Ross, they set up Big Meech. Freeway Ricky, Rick Ross, and now you got 50 Cent. He owning the rights to be.
And now, his son, Lil Meech, is calling him out publicly. This isn't just drama, it's a power play between three major forces: Rick Ross, Big Meech, and 50 Cent, the man who brought BMF's story to the screen. But the deeper you look, the clearer it gets. This isn't about movies, money, or fame. It's about legacy, manipulation, and how far one man will go to stay relevant.
Take a picture with Rick Ross. Put your back against the wall and just slide down.
It all began after Big Meech was released from prison. The streets were ready to celebrate his comeback, the rebirth of a legend who once ran one of the most powerful street empires in America. Ross stepped in with the perfect pitch: a $120 million BMF movie deal, luxury branding partnerships, and global distribution. A story that would finally honor Meech's life the right way. The promise sounded too good to be fake. Ross talked big, flexed Hollywood connections, name-dropped major directors like Tarantino and F. Gary Gray, and painted the picture of a blockbuster that would make history. But here's the twist. There was no contract, no funding, no script, just talk, and the kind of talk that sells dreams to the desperate and fame to the foolish. Behind the scenes, insiders say Ross's pitch was nothing but smoke and mirrors, a way to attach himself to BMF's name and grab the headlines. While Ross was promising movie magic, 50 Cent had already done the real work. He created the BMF series, the official story, backed by the real Meech family. He trained Lil Meech as an actor, paid for his lessons, and gave him the platform that made him a household name. When the show blew up, 50 didn't just build a hit, he built an empire. Power, Raising Kanan, Force, and BMF became part of a cultural universe that reshaped urban storytelling. But then Lil Meech shocked everyone by suddenly standing next to Rick Ross, posting pictures and calling him a mentor. The betrayal cut deep. They saw it as disloyalty. The very legacy he built was being hijacked by the same man who once tried to diss him in every record.
I know I got more money than that. I might go 70 days without looking at my exact total amount of my money because it give me anxiety keep looking at numbers all day. It's like when you put money in stocks, the stock trader told me, say, put a lot of money in stock, don't keep looking at that. It's gonna drive you crazy.
That's when things got ugly. Ross started promoting a Big Me benefit concert, bragging about performing BMF live with Lil Meech. The flyer said $120 million film coming soon. But soon after, fans noticed the concert got canceled, and whispers started spreading fast. Insiders claimed Rick Ross was the reason, saying he didn't want Lil Meech gaining too much momentum or independence. He wanted to control the BMF brand.
This is the gentleman's side of Meech, right? Yep. The plane lands Friday night. It's like 12 midnight. Alex calls me. He's like, yo, Chris, Meech needs the biggest suite in Cancun. I'm like, I ain't no travel agent. He's like, no. When I landed, they told me that you got the presidential suite at the Coral Beach. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I love Meech, but I'm not giving him my room. I'm like, yo, man, I'm not giving him my room. He's like, he'll give you $60,000 right now. I was paying $3,000 a night. He had that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But here's the gentleman's side of me. I switched to another suite. I get a phone call. I'm like, yo, what's up? Who's this? He's like, yo, is this Chris Latimer? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, we up in the presidential suite. I got some messages from you. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Tell me what they are. And I'm like, yo, brother, man, thanks a lot, man. Yo, tell Meech, good looking out, man. He's like, Chris, it is Meech.
At the same time, 50 Cent took to social media trolling like only he can. He clowned Ross for cutting his own grass, joked about sending Wingstop wings to Big Meech's prison address, and reminded everyone, I built the real BMF, Ross just borrowed the name. The internet lit up. Clips went viral.
I'm seeing a lot of about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross for this. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross.
But here's the thing, this isn't new. Rick Ross has been playing this game for years. He built his entire image by taking another man's name, the real Rick Ross, the drug kingpin who was locked up while the rapper turned his story into a brand. The real Ross tried to sue him, tried to reclaim his name, but it was too late. The damage was done and the rapper walked away richer while the original lost everything. Then he did it again, dropping Larry Hoover's name in songs, posing with Chicago legends, speaking on stories that weren't his to tell. And now the cycle repeats with Big Meech. Ross moves like a chess player with only one rule. If it gets clicks, it's worth it. The names, the history, the loyalty, all secondary to staying viral. That's the same playbook he's been running for over a decade. And the people closest to him, they always end up left behind. Street insiders began talking. They said Ross promised Big Meech millions but delivered nothing. He used flashy language, vague partnerships, and kept all control in his hands. One insider said, Ross played the long game. He talked like a brother, but moved like a businessman. Loyalty don't protect you from finesse. Meanwhile, Lil Meech tried to defend him online, calling 50 Cent an internet gangster and accusing him of using social media for attention. But fans weren't buying it. The comment section turned against him. They said he looked lost, like a young man trying to clean up a mess made by someone older and smarter. And while that chaos played out, 50 Cent's camp stayed calm, reminding everyone who had the real receipts. From Meek Mill to Gunplay to Whale, the same story kept resurfacing. Artists under Ross's wing eventually leave, frustrated by money issues, shady contracts, or broken promises. Every time Rick Ross's career starts to cool down, he finds someone hot, someone respected, and attaches himself to their name. When Drake was rising, Ross jumped on features. When Meek Mill had momentum, Ross turned it into MMG glory. When BMF was trending again, he made himself part of the narrative. But the pattern is too clear to ignore now. Every time Ross steps into someone else's world, that world starts to crack. Relationships fade, projects collapse, and Ross walks away smiling for the cameras. It's not partnership, it's possession. He doesn't join movements. He hijacks them. So what really happened to the $120 million BMF movie deal? According to reports, the deal never existed. There were no official investors, no Hollywood studio, and no paperwork filed for production rights. Everything Ross mentioned was either exaggerated or completely fabricated. The entire pitch was a way to boost his brand, not build a legacy for Big Meech. He promoted it through concert posters, fake announcements, and interviews, hyping the idea of a blockbuster film in development. But behind the curtain, nothing was in motion. Even people close to the Meech family confirmed Ross never had access to the official BMF rights. 50 Cent still held those set, meaning Ross's movie was never legal to make. It was all a bluff. The scam wasn't about stealing cash, it was about stealing credibility. Using the illusion of a $120 million project to elevate his own image, while the real BMF legacy got caught in the crossfire. Lil Meech found himself trapped between two worlds, loyalty to his father's legacy and friendship with a man the streets were calling a fraud. When he sided with Ross, he didn't just pick a team, he picked a reputation. That's when people like WAC 100 spoke out. Ross ain't loyal to nobody but himself. He don't move for the culture, he moves for the camera. Even longtime friends like Tony Yayo backed 50, saying he raised Lil Meech right and gave him everything he needed to succeed. But loyalty, once broken, doesn't rebuild easily. Fans started turning on Lil Meech, calling him naive, manipulated, and blinded by fame. The same BMF name that once commanded respect was now tangled in memes and mockery. And at the center of it all, Rick Ross, still talking, still promoting, still flexing. The contrast couldn't be sharper. 50 Cent builds things. He takes real stories, power, Raising Canaan, BMF, and turns them into billion-dollar franchises. He employs hundreds, launches spin-offs, and gives new talent real opportunities. Ross, he borrows. He takes the energy that others create, wraps it in luxury branding, and turns it into another viral headline. 50 plays chess. Ross plays checkers. And that's why, even in this chaos, the streets know who's really winning. Ross might control the algorithm, but 50 controls the legacy. As the dust settles, one truth stands out. This isn't just about money, it's about authenticity. Ross built his fame off borrowed stories. The real Rick Ross, Larry Hoover, now Big Meech, and in every case the pattern repeats. Fame for him, fallout for them. But in the streets, reputation is currency. And once that's gone, you can't buy it back. Not with 120 million, not with cars, not with mansions. Big Meech's name deserves more than fake promises and Hollywood talk. It deserves respect, legacy, and truth. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's empire keeps growing. From executive producing to global distribution, he's showing what it means to build from the ground up, not by stealing another man's shine, but by turning struggle into success. So now the question stands, can Lil Meech recover the trust he lost? Can Big Meech reclaim his legacy? And will Rick Ross ever stop borrowing other people's lives for clout? Only time will tell. But one line from 50 Cent keeps echoing louder every day. Real ones build, fake ones borrow.